Hi, I'm Stu, and what I'm going to show you today is how you can make a delicious, tasty beer at home using simple ingredients you can buy from Wilko's. I bought these ingredients last weekend from Wilko's in Kingston, and I'll be showing you how to turn this into this, which is 40 pints of a delicious beer. So here's one I made earlier, and I'm going to show you how to take these kits and turn them into the real thing. So I've been doing this for about 10 years. I started off by thinking that beer that you brewed at home was horrible stuff that you made in a bath, until a friend of mine convinced me that actually things have changed and that the kind of kits you get now are really worthwhile. And to be honest, I haven't looked back since I made my first kit. We're going to start off by taking a little look at what's inside here. So the cap was a little bit tricky to get off. I had to break it with a screwdriver, which is a little bit annoying. So in here is where the magic is. We'll take the lid off that a bit later. There are a set of instructions, a packet of yeast, and some hops. And really that's it. So the other things that we'll need about 23 litres of water. We'll need pots of fermenting. So I was planning to use this, but this beer hasn't finished, so I'm going to use a steel one. But this is absolutely fine, and you can buy this again from Wilkinson's, or I'll say where else you can buy them. And this, which they call beer enhanced, but really is just dried malt. So this and this go together. We're going to add water to it. We're going to add yeast to it, and then in a couple of weeks we'll have beer. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the tin and we're going to open it. The reason we're going to open it first, the instruction says to stand it in hot water first, but after we stood it in hot water for a while, it's going to be too hot to open. So we're going to open it first. I learned that the hard way. So inside here is a really thick, syrupy liquid. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand it in hot water. So I'm going to boil the kettle. I'm going to put this in the saucepan, and then it tastes quite good. I'm going to stand it in the saucepan, going to boil the kettle and then pour the hot water around the bottom of the tin here. Right, I'm just putting some water on to boil here. We're going to add this to the beer in a moment, once it's ready. Now the kettle's boiled, I'm going to add that to the syrup in the can. Okay. Now I'm pouring this into the saucepan here. This is going to make the syrup nice and fluid so that we can pour it into the fermenter. So it's going to be absolutely critical that we get as much of this out of the can so that we can make our beer as well as we can. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes and now the contents of the can's looking a lot more liquid. If my glamorous assistant can take a shot from the top, and I'm going to lift this out of the hot water carefully with some oven gloves because it is quite hot. I'm going to put it down on the surface so I can get a better grip on it. I'm going to tip it into this fermenter. Now this fermenter is going to look a bit different from the other one I showed you earlier. It's because I've been doing this for a long time, so I've gathered all these different bits of kit. But basically this is exactly the same as the plastic one. It's just not made of plastic. I'm going to try and just drip as much of this out as possible. I'm just going to pour this in. I'm going to try and get as much of the rest of these. So there's still quite a bit of syrup kind of stuck to the sides here. So I'm going to give this a bit of a swirl. It smells a bit like beer. And you can see quite a lot of that's coming off. I won't be able to get all of it off, so it won't be able to get everything. That's an acceptable amount to get out. Twist the can a bit, try and get rid of the water splash all over. So now inside the fermenter, we've got quite a lot of syrup, which is malt syrup. So it smells a bit like Maltesers. So the next thing, the instructions say add a kilogram of sugar or or malt extract, and this is called beer kit enhancer, but basically it's malt extract. And again, all of this is available from Wilco's. This, when I open it, is like powdered Maltesers. It's basically just malt that's been, so someone in a brewery, a professional brewery, has made this and then dried it, so it's powdered. It's like very fine sugar, just like sand. It's quite sticky as well, so I'm just going to open it and I'm going to pour it in. Whoa. Boiling water. I wish I'd used a bigger pot really, because only just big enough, and I put the rest in the kettle actually to. Now, 3.5 litres. That's what the instructions said. Some instructions might say something different. That's all gone in, and now I'm going to use my spoon. So I'm going to use this metal spoon, but the instructions say you can use a plastic spoon. With a metal spoon, you've just got to use a glove because it conducts the heat really well. And I'm just going to stir all these ingredients together, so you can see the malt extract has got into the sort of clumps as it's got hot. That's okay. That's not so bad. I'm just going to try and mix these all together. It really smells amazing at this point. I'm going to try not to bump the sides too much, because scratches are bad inside the fermenter. And this is all just to mix everything up. So this is the end of all this sort of using hot stuff. We're just gonna add cold water after this. So I've got another 18 or so litres of water in here. I've used, this is another fermenter that I've got, but I've used it because it's got a measured amount of liquid here. Actually, it's probably just as easy to use this. This is a measuring jug. It goes up to 3 litres. So we're looking to make this in total 23 litres, which here is the 6 gallon. That's American gallon mark. So I'm basically going to add cold water now from here into there until we've got the right amount that we need. Got another jug here of water ready to go. It's starting to smell and look like beer. It's a good stir, and I've poured off into my sample jar, just up to the top here where it says 100. I'm going to measure how much sugar's in the liquid, and use the thing called a hydrometer. So this, again, I picked this up from Wilkinson's. I'm going to drop this in the top here. I'm going to let it drop, and then it's going to give me a number. So where the liquid touches the scale here, it's going to tell me how much is in here to start with. And when this is finished fermenting, it will be all the way down here in this yellow area. So this is really important because this tells us how boozy the beer is going to be. It's here on 40. Basically tells us it's going to be about 4%, which is great. Sort of nice traditional English pub beer strength. Because we've added so much cold water, actually the temperature of this has come all the way right down. It's warm to touch. It's probably, I don't know, about 30 degrees or something. Ideally, when it starts fermenting, we want it to be sort of around 18 to 20 degrees centigrade. So I'm going to put it somewhere where it's going to be about 18 degrees centigrade. I'm going to add the yeast now. So the yeast comes in a little packet. Just want to make sure that nothing else gets in the beer apart from the things I want at this stage. I'm just going to sprinkle the yeast on the surface. I don't have to stir it. It's dried, and it's going to get in contact with the beer. That's going to wake it up, and then the yeast is going to do all the hard work. Over the next 2 weeks, it's going to turn it into beer. Now, you only get 1 packet with the kit, and actually one of the key things I've learned is that 1 packet isn't enough. So I've got another packet here. I'm going to add this on the top. Same again. Put the lid on now, and with the plastic lid, you want to push it all the way around. You'll hear it clicking. This metal one, I've got some clips here I'm going to clip on. And then the last thing we're going to do is get an airlock. This one's a bit dirty, I'm just going to use this one for show. I'm just going to pop it in the top here. And then now this is a sealed system, so as the yeast starts to work, it's going to basically burp and it's going to produce lots of carbon dioxide. I'm just going to push through the airlock this way. The airlock means that nothing can get through the other way, so everything in here is going to remain really sort of sanitary. Means that only beery goodness inside and nothing else. Now we've just got to wait.